at Crafty Hope. Welcome. I have got a fun package from my friend Michelle. She sent me some wallpaper samples from her, I think from her designs at Spoonflower. So this is apparently peel and stick wallpaper samples that she thought maybe I could use in something. So I'm definitely interested to see what she sent. And oh my gosh, look at these. Alright, oh, these have like a neat texture to them. So this has like, I don't know, I think it's supposed to be water droplets, but it looks like commas. And these hearts that are all kinds of textured. These are super fun. And then some stars. And then these are just letters. So, I am probably, oh, and here's, is this another piece here? Here is another, it's just a little strip. That looks like a turtle shell on there, doesn't it? Okay, those are super fun. I do like the colors. That's definitely the blues and greens and browns that I like also. She also, I don't know if y'all saw, on here has some washi tape that I will likely peel off and use. There's some down here as well, but we've got addresses there. And I think, oh my gosh, she's got other pieces in here. I thought this was going to be a note. Let me see what it says and I'll be right back. Okay, let me see if I can... Michelle is Michelle Mach, and she is a shop owner on Spoonflower. Spoonflower, my knowledge of Spoonflower is that it is fabrics, but apparently they've been doing these peel and stick wallpapers. She's given me the names of some of these, and I will reference them. And I'll have a link to her Spoonflower shop as well as her website below. So you can do that. She wanted me, y'all might want to know that you do not have to have a Spoonflower shop and sell the work. You can just upload and print your own designs for your own project. So that might be a great idea for some personalized gifts, especially as the holidays are approaching. When she wrote this little information for me, she said that a wallpaper swatch, which is 2 feet by 1 foot, is $9 plus shipping. However, they've been running a lot of specials lately in promoting that wallpaper, so you might want to go check out Spoonflower and see if you can get a deal. So, she also has a blog post coming out sometime in October. I don't know when I'll get this up, but so it'll probably be before, you know, she'll have that up. But it's a very simple way she used the wallpaper to do some simple hard journal covers held together with binder rings. So that could be a really fun project too. So I will link that as well below. So let's look at what else she sent in this envelope. Envelope? How do you say it? Envelope or envelope? Oh gosh, there's some other little things in here. So here is MichelleMach.com. Right there. And oh, this looks like it's a sticker. I like that. And a postcard. And then some more of her samples. Let's see, this one. Super neat. And more colors I will use. This looks like a big sequin. Y'all, that has got to be a sequin. These look like cross-stitch keys. Definitely love that. Some pink flowers, some more of that. Like I said, looks like a turtle shell. And then some what looks like snowflakes and some splotches. So she has given me the names of them. So let's see. There's April Showers, which I believe, oh, if I can get it. I believe was this one. Calligraphy Letters, Chrysanthemum, and Daisy. So that's probably this pink one, I would think. Yeah, Chrysanthemum and Daisy. Earth Tone Meditation. She said it's a brown one. So maybe that's this. I'm not positive. Lacy Hearts. Melted Butter. Oh, this must be the melted butter. Night Sky with Stars, of course. Sea Turtles. Hey, I got that right. So Sea Turtles, Sequins, and Goldenrod. So I did have that right. The Snowflakes, and then the Vintage Key Cross Stitch. So definitely some fun things to choose from. And let's see what I'm going to do with these. I am going to admit that I let my ideas for this marinate a lot longer than I anticipated. So it's now, I think I recorded that in October, and it is now, of course, December. I did record this in November, but I decided the easiest thing to do would be to use these in an art journal page. So I am starting with a die. It's just from the Dollar Tree. It's this cute little corner one. You saw me peel it off. And I'm going to use the snowflake one. I'm not big on like snow, but I thought that that would be fun. First off, it's blues, and y'all know I like my blues. And I'm going to run this through my vintage Big Kick Sizzix machine, Sizzix. Oh, I don't know how to do it. And you can see I put um, the magnetic plate down, one of the clear flat plates, my wallpaper sample, my die, and then another of the clear plates. I don't ever remember what those are called. And that did a perfect sandwich to punch out these or cut these out. So I got 2 of those. I also pulled out, you can see this little label thing. I laser cut out of cereal boxes to make that, and the front is painted gold. It's, yeah, just something that was on my desk, and I was like, oh, this could be really neat. So that's my idea to start with those wallpaper samples. Like I said, they are peel and stick. So basically, I just made some stickers in these decorative designs. And I'll show another way that I'm going to use these in a bit. But for now, I'm jumping in this art journal, and of course, I'm going to start with some collage. The papers on here are super thin, and I wanted to sturdy them up and cover up. You can see there's a little bit of paint down the center line there, so I know that this isn't the most secure. So I'm using Liquitex fluid matte medium. Goodness, why couldn't I think of that? And a silicone like spatula spreader thing to stick down papers. I've got some that I have doodled on. I've got some that are like newspaper and book clippings, just whatever. I'm gonna stick to a fairly neutral palette to go on here, and both of the pages you can see that I'm collaging on are white, so they're pretty stark. They're also just cheap thin papers. The one on the left is from some pamphlet, I think, that had the moon phases locally for the year, like a farmer's almanac. And the one on the right is all some Japanese writing. I think it's a menu or a newspaper of some kind. I'm not sure, but it's almost like copy paper. So I stopped there to add a little bit of masking tape down that center line just to kind of seal it up and to make sure that the pieces that I'm sticking down are nice and stuck down in that center area. So, and then I can go back in over that with more collage. To add a little bit of texture, I am using a little bit of sewing pattern paper, which is tissue paper. It's super thin, and bunching it up. I'm putting down my fluid medium where I want it, and then putting down like a too large piece of the sewing pattern paper. And as I'm applying it, I'm bunching it just like that. And that gives some great texture. I'm hoping that you'll be able to see some of that in the detail shots that I'll have at the end of the video, because it's like where some of the paints and inks and stuff get in there. It's just really yummy. So this is not exact or precise. If you wanted to have a certain texture, you could definitely go for that, but I just wanted a little bit of additional texture on here. The the wallpaper samples, the thing I'm using in this video. It's going to also add some texture. I wish I could come up with a way to explain it. It's almost like a canvas texture, but it's more secure than canvas. It's not going to like soak this up, because that wallpaper sample has like a plasticized front, but at the same time it takes the inks and stuff that I've thrown on here. So I'm going to start with a little bit of stenciling. I've got my Liquitex. That's not Liquitex. What is that? Lucas, y'all. It's early in the morning when I'm doing this voiceover, and I'm not quite awake yet. That's some Lucas Titanium White acrylic paint. And that's one of the little makeup dauber sponge things. And I wish I knew whose stencil that was. I cannot think what stencil is. If I can find it and find some kind of mark on it, I'll put it below. I don't even know where I got that stencil, y'all. Honestly. In any case, I am going to stencil over a couple areas just to kind of make sure that background and the
papers I collage on there are a little more cohesive. Like I said, the background was kind of white. And instead, a lot of times I'll just take white gesso and roll it over the whole thing. But this also works really nicely to kind of make those papers kind of come together more cohesively, like I said. So this was a lot of fun. It also adds a bit of a flow because the shape of those like leafy pod things, I don't even know what those are supposed to be, but they're great. They've got like a fluidity to them that I really like. So those are down. I put it on pretty thin, so it's not going to need to dry. And now I'm going to look at maybe adding a little more texture with some of these other samples. And what I end up pulling out, which one do I go for? Yeah, I'm going to go for that one that is I think it was calligraphy. And I grab a paper punch. Now, this paper punch is super, needs to be sharpened, and it does not. This wallpaper is super sturdy, so my paper punch does not make it through. So I want y'all to know that you definitely test it out. This was my testing it out, and what it did do was give me the shape of several of those circles that I wanted. So I'm just gonna grab my scissors and cut it out, and it cut beautifully. And y'all saw with the die cut machine, it cut beautifully, but between my lack of hand strength and that my need for that paper punch to be sharpened, it did not work, but it is fine. We're rolling with it. That's what some of my art is about, is working a little more intuitively and going for it. So if you do want to use this wallpaper as actual wallpaper, yeah, it's sturdy. I have proven that. So I've got several circles cut out there. I had a little space on that section that I cut out that I could make another circle, so I'm just folding it over a little bit and cutting a half circle so I get a full circle that I can stick in my art journal page. So I'm going to pick those up and show you that the peel up is beautiful, and I'm going to tell you that I'm going to throw a bunch of stuff on this page, and these stick amazingly. The only one I had a problem with is one I'm going to stick toward the center, and that's going to be where the masking tape is, and it did not initially want to stick to that masking tape, but in the end it's fine, even with all the stuff that like I throw at it. It's pretty awesome. I can't wait to use some more of this stuff. I do have some other ideas of how to maybe use these, and I'm hoping to get some of those videos to you as well once, because Michelle sent me so many. So I do have to say thank you, Michelle, for giving me this opportunity to play with these and see what I can do. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm sorry it took me so long to do it so much. I wanted to, I don't know, think on it, and I think I thought too long. So I grabbed several sprays. I've got blues and a gold, simply because I pulled out that, I'd use that snowflake one. And so I kind of wanted to stick with the blues. I think there are 2 Tattered Angels sprays that I probably picked up at Tuesday Morning ages ago. I think that's the second one. Yeah, and I've got it all over me now. I think I'm cleaning my hands. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the excess that's getting in that crease. This is, I think, a speckled egg, a distress oxide, and I'm going to go back with a little bit more of that Tattered Angels. And then I've got I think it is a Mica spray from Ranger, Wendy Vecchi. Is that right? And I think it's called Buttercup. I'm not positive. I will put at least the names of them below. If I can find them online, I will put links to them on Amazon. So I'm adding just a little bit of water because I do like the way that the distress oxides and some of those will react when water is added. And then I dried it really well. I thought I wanted to use some of this Arteza metallic pearlescent paint. I can't think of the color of it either. I'll put that below as well. I'm going to do a couple of little marks around on the page, but they really do kind of blend in with the colors that are already there. So it doesn't do a whole lot except for keep my hands busy. So yeah. So I'm going to put a couple of those down and decide that is just not doing anything for me. So what I decide to do is grab my This is the FW acrylic ink in Payne's Gray. So I put that in there with what's left of that metallic paint, just because it was open and free. And if I got a little metallic acrylic paint in there, I didn't care. I did water it down a little bit. I've got like a super floppy, like moppy type brush that you can see. I am just picking up some of that watery ink and slapping it around on the page and rolling it and just getting a muddy mess. Now, part of this is because I knew I needed a slightly darker background for those stickers, basically, I created with the wallpaper. So I wanted them to stand out because they are like a lighter blue, and I just didn't want them to blend in a whole lot into that lighter background. So I'm adding that Payne's Gray on there just to give it a little, and you can see some of the places too I put it or where I had added that texture of the sewing pattern paper. So that's where it starts to get super yummy. Now I do decide to add a little bit of instant coffee. This is regular old instant coffee. I like the, what's it called? It's the dark from Nescafe. I'll definitely have the link for that below. But I just let it dry up in a little plastic cup and reconstitute it with water when I need it. And again, I'm adding this here just to get a little more dark on this background and a little more grunge and age to it, which is definitely a bit more my style. Picking up some of the excess real quick before I, again, dry everything. So I'm bringing in those really frilly die cuts of the wallpaper that I've done, and before I do anything I decide to ink the edges of it. I think this, mostly I was trying to get the cut edges covered, but it did darken up the front of these wallpaper stickers a bit more than I would have liked, so they don't stand out quite as much. So I'm going to do what I can to fix that here in once I get them applied. But this is some Distress ink in walnut stain on an ink blender. Like I said, more than anything, I just wanted to not have those cut edges showing. So here is the little label that I created. It's, again, something I laser cut. It's layers of cereal box with a just gold painted front, and it's got, you can see an opening here where I can slip in the label in the top. So I took that little piece of, which was a margin from a book, and typed up on my typewriter the phrase, "Make your own magic." Now, I used that phrase because I felt like the little shapes I had cut on the die cutter of the wallpaper felt like sparks or something that was going to be exploding from the phrase. And I don't know, anything magic related is definitely right in my wheelhouse. So it just felt quite right. And it also felt like, I'm taking this material, this peel and stick wallpaper, and making something out of it, making something that is my own. And so it's kind of like a bit of magic. So I did cut down that typewriter page a little small, and it was that paper I'd used was super brittle. So I needed something to back it. And you see, I just took another book page that was like blank and glued it to the back of it to stabilize it and to so that there's a backing to it. So now I'm fiddling quite a bit with getting it inserted into the label where I want it. I think I'm going to trim a little bit more off the bottom so it doesn't sit so high. Yeah, I'll take that back out. And it's just a fun little thing that, again, I made this forever. I think last year when I did the Advent with Nina, I think I made these and sent her some. So I had this one, I think, which was my tester one from last year, just sitting around forever. So I thought, use it. Let's turn it into something. Now, it does have holes on the either side, so it can be used in a variety of different ways, and it's perfect for a small brad to fit into. So that's exactly what I've pulled out. Is I could have used some kind of grommets, and I thought about tying some gold embroidery floss in there, but I was like, let's not make any harder work of this. Let's go ahead and just put these little brads and bend them down. Now I want to make sure that my sentiment is secure inside of there. So I took my fluid medium, put it on the back of that, and then slipped it in and made sure everything's kind of sitting nicely. I am cleaning it up a bit with my fingers so that glue isn't everywhere. And really, if I wanted to, I could add a little bit of resin or glossy accents or something over the top of it to secure it even more, but it's fine the way it is. Now I'm going to use some E6000 to place this. I had some trouble getting the top off, but I'm making sure I'm going over those brads too so the backs of them don't spin out and they're secure. And then I'm going to just stick it down in my journal. I think I am going to try weighing it down for a minute while I clean my fingers off and kind of think about what I want to do next. And that just gives it a minute. Every once in a while, I'm going to press down the front of that piece. You can see I'm cleaning up my desk, putting things up. I don't know why I didn't clip all this out, but I wanted you to see that I did weigh that down just a bit. So from there, I am going to turn it to my stickers. I think I was delaying it as long as I could because just the little round ones I put around everywhere, I knew that once these were down, they were going to be down. They look light and flimsy, but once they're adhered, they're on there. So I am putting them down, spaced the way I thought that they worked beautifully with that with that label I had made. And these are so super fun, such a neat element. And I can see I've got several other ideas of ways to use these. So you'll probably see some more from me, hopefully before the year's out, but we'll see what happens. Now to add that little extra bit of magic on these, I am coming in with a gold Sharpie paint pen. And this is like a super fine point. I don't know what they call it. But I'm just adding a dot on these like edge little pieces of that die cut. And like I said, this die cut was simply from Dollar Tree. That was the first time I'd ever used it. And so I was real nervous, both about using that wallpaper that Michelle had sent and about using a die cut I'd never used before and seeing how those two things work. So it was a little bit of magic that actually worked. Now I wanted those stickers to kind of feel like an explosion of magic coming from all of that. So I'm taking another gold paint pen. I've sped this up quite a bit. And I'm making little like fairy magic dots coming from that left side of the page over to the right. And this for me was a way to integrate that left page. I kept thinking, well, maybe I'll add some kind of image, or maybe I'll add, but really I wanted the sentiment and those stickers to be the focal to the spread. So I'm integrating that left side in with more gold dots, kind of starting kind of sparse on the left side and really gathering steam toward the right. And the gold wasn't showing up near as, you can't see them, I'm sure. So I decided I still had a little bit of that white acrylic paint in my palette there. So I'm going to make some dots with it. I'm using the back of a paintbrush. Sorry, my head's getting in there. I was trying to get a good view of it, but I'm adding these little white dots. Again, kind of sparsely from the left and gathering steam toward the right. And because neither of those colors are really on those stickers, and the stickers are supposed to, the gold I added to the stickers. I am pulling in a little bit of some blue paint. And I'm trying to remember, I think that might be Sea Aqua. It could be my favorite sea glass. It may actually be that. But I think I'd use something brighter. I think I use Sea Aqua. And use the same method of the back of the paintbrush so that I kept the size of those little dots kind of exactly where I needed them. Now I decided I wanted to have that extend a little bit over toward the right side of everything. So you can see I'm going to add more dots of everything and get those all worked in. And then once I finally stop fiddling with all these little dots, I will be done with this spread. I would love to hear how you might have used this wallpaper sample. Like I said, I've got a few more ideas brewing. But if you've got some ideas, I'd love to hear them. And make sure you go check out Michelle's site and her Spoonflower shop, and the wallpapers she's made. Look how well that sticker stuck down and blended it. Oh, love it. Love it. All right, guys, I appreciate you taking this time and spending it with me, and I will see y'all very soon. Go make some magic of your own. Thanks for watching. Bye.